Oh, Maddie, oh, Maddie, you are just so freaking cute. She hates when I sing. There are so many aspects of sound that can be therapeutic. Music is just the most specific and obvious version. I've spent a lot of my life around people who are very sensitive to sound. My daughter is on the spectrum. Even my dog hates it when I sing, which I actually find hilarious, and she deals with it anyway. But she'll even shake her ears in the car if I'm playing the music too loud, and I'll have to turn it down for her. It's interesting to me that sound can be such a sensitive element in an individual's world. I grew up with music in church. It was how my father expressed his spirituality. He was not only a Baptist minister, but also the music minister of our church. He seemed to do everything. I also took ballet and piano lessons. Piano is the one that stuck, and I had a strict Romanian piano teacher who would slap the underside of my wrists if my hand position was lazy, but for some reason I always wanted to please her. I would cry almost every week for every lesson, but I would never quit. I just loved to play and was eager to learn, but piano recitals were terrifying for me. This is the piano that I learned on growing up, that I kept for most of my life until I donated it to this gallery where I included it in an art installation for one of my featured artist shows. Although being pushed to sing in front of church was a bit too much pressure for me as a young child who was highly sensitive and shy, I would comply for the sake of my parents and the image that was heavily influenced by the judgments made by our church. This caused me to shy away from playing music for many years to come. Later in life, I realized that music could serve me again in other ways. No matter how much others had criticized my unique expression of music, I may have a loud singing voice that is unique or play songs that not everyone else is necessarily attracted to, and perhaps that turned me into a closeted musician. But music also became my solitary safe space, and something I was reluctant to share. I've spent a lot of time around people who are highly picky about the kind of music they listen to and who are strict about what they wrap their ears around. Music is something I became careful with around others, and it became something that was mine when I was all by myself, and for now, I'm okay with that. I'm also a collector of music. I'm addicted to my Shazam app on my phone, and I'm a believer in the transformative power of music. I am primarily a visual artist, but would pay attention to the influence that music had on my art as well, especially the music that I would play while I was painting. I've also had a lot of different types of relationships with musicians that have influenced my relationship with music as well, in good ways and bad. Music creates an environment that allows me to breathe more steadily. I also found dance much later in life and joined an amateur burlesque group that I was with until the pandemic hit. And this was the first time I was truly able to deal with my stage fright. I had an extremely supportive group of people to uplift me and my lack of dancing skills, but my willingness to express myself in an artistic way was very welcomed in that community. I danced to Paloma Faith and Christina and the Queens and poured paint all over myself on stage. It was such a fantastic and liberating experience. In the future, I hope to find more people with which to make music, and in a way that is more playful. I don't think I truly started to enjoy music until I let go of the pressure that everyone in my life put on me. I was in unhealthy relationships with musicians as well. That pushed me further into the closet. But overall, I kept making music, and I can't ever help but to keep loving it. How can we avoid music? We cannot. I also don't let others ruin music for me. Sometimes when a song brings about a bad memory for me, I will purposely listen to that song over and over again in new contexts so that I will desensitize myself from the memory I don't want to maintain. Music is so powerful that way. It can guide our emotions, and I even have playlists for my different moods. When I learned the guitar and ukulele later in life, I love covering other artists' songs and then deconstructing them, making them my own. I would choose songs that were cathartic to specific emotions or memories I also want to relive. I think that sounds in general are therapeutic, not necessarily music. When I meditate, I think of the sound of my own breath and how that can be musical, or the birds I hear outside chirping as I meditate, or even the buzzing of my air purifier. Music is another vessel by which we get to tell our stories, and can be as simple as a breath or a few words, or as complex as a symphony. I've also discovered white noise therapy for ADHD that is a game changer for my focus, and this is another therapeutic element for my mental health that incorporates sound. There are so many kinds of sounds that can bring us relief. Sometimes just the sound of conversation can help us feel less alone, even if we aren't engaged in it. I also think about sound as a cultural element, how babies can lose the ability to hear certain intonation if not exposed to it consistently at an early age. The development of hearing, as well as losing it at some points in our lives, is fascinating. And although I recently found that I have the hearing of an elderly person, likely from all the loud small venue concerts I went to growing up in Los Angeles, I appreciate the shifts that cause me to pay more attention to what is going on around me and the fact that perceptions change as we move through life. Now, I am not savvy at video making or recording of sound or tech savvy by any means. I am a painter at heart, but I hope that you will have patience with my subpar editing skills. This presentation has made me so nervous, and I kept thinking I should have joined the visual arts group because it's where I'm most comfortable. But I didn't mind the challenge this time, and am doing my best to rise to it. This program has been so supportive, and all the people in it have been wonderful, and has helped me think about all aspects of art and how they can mingle with each other, and the many layers of benefit we can reap from the combination of or the solitary use of various modalities. Thank you so much for listening.